15 plus. He ran a 5.6 40. Not that even matters really as an offensive lineman, but this dude can play. He was solid in Iowa, and honestly, I think if you got to protect Murray. That's the biggest thing. You got to be able to protect this guy because even though he likes to scramble, because to be honest, I don't think he can see over the line. You got to be able to bring those sacks down. Look, he was sacked a lot last year, and I get it. Some of that's decision-making. He was a new quarterback in the league. You shore up that line a little bit. You have probably two of the best receivers in the league now. Look, give him some time. He's going to get the ball. He can throw. The dude can throw the ball.
Oh, yeah.
He had a very, very low percentage of interceptions last season, didn't turn the ball over that much, made good decisions later on in the season, actually looked pretty good to me later on in the season. So beef up that line a little bit, ensure that Kyler Murray will have a little bit more time, and that pick's going to pay off if they do not trade with the Broncos.
Yeah, then just go after defense later in the round, or later in the draft, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, right, you have your team.
Let's do this, guys. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They got their pick of the
Minshew-mania!
Offensive tackles. Minshew-mania is going to take over, man. Everyone says they wanted to draft a quarterback, but there's no more quarterbacks
Cam.
to take.
They're going to go get Cam.
Oh, no.
No, let's not go get Cam Newton.
No.
That's no.
I thought you were pro Minshew. What's happened?
I'm pro Minshew, but Leonard Fournette wants Cam, bro.
Leonard Fournette's a GM now?
Leonard Fournette is also on his way out the door. So let's think about how that all happened.
I agree.
But Jacksonville, they're wanting to beef up the defensive line. Calais Campbell, he's a Baltimore Raven, unfortunately. They couldn't get anything done. Hey, go let him do him. He's got to go get rings, got to win championships. It sucks. Jacksonville's going to have to beat him when he's trying to get those championships, but it's fine. It's fine. Jacksonville, they're probably going to pick the best interior defensive lineman of this draft, Derek Brown of Auburn. Jeff Legwold says he's an athletic rarity. His hands are unbelievable. He's quick. He gets around defenders. He plays all over the defensive line. You can basically get him to play wherever you want. He's obviously going to stay nose up in front of a center and a guard. He's going to basically just use that 6'5", 318-pound frame to just manhandle people. But that is the best possible pick for the Jaguars if they don't trade out. Because also looking at that, that's the earliest possible pick the Broncos can look at if they want a good offensive tackle.
Yep, I agree with that.
Or wide receiver. You know, if we're talking Broncos, the big worry, I think the consensus is that they want a wide receiver at 15, and the worry is that 11, 12, 13, you could see them all go. So I think
where you could lose them. Yep.
So I like that pick. Now, my question for you guys is this. I've heard people make the argument, and I actually agree with this. I think Javon Kinlaw is a better interior D lineman. I think he offers more of a pass rush, and I think you're defending more passes than you are runs more time in today's NFL. What do you guys think? Do you think that Kinlaw could kind of sneak his way up there over Brown in the draft?
I think it really just matters what the general manager and coaches are looking for. Different types of school play different styles of defenses. I get it. Kinlaw is a great player, and I think he's still obviously going to go high in this draft. Honestly, that's one of the very few picks that I've looked at that could be 50-50 for me, because I think you're going to get a solid player whoever you go with.
Yeah, and both are SEC proven. So exactly,
that's the thing. It doesn't really matter. It's like take your pick, you know.
Okay. I am.
Von Miller came from Texas A&M. Let's all remember Von Miller came from Texas A&M. I wouldn't worry about too much.
Totally, that makes total sense too.
Okay, I'm the Browns. Did you guys see how many times Baker got sacked last year?
Yep.
It was a lot. It was a whole lot. Now, Andrew Thomas is higher here than who I'm going to take, which is odd. But I think if you take Jedrick Wills here, you have the versatility. You can play him at left or right efficiently. Yep. A Swiss Army knife, even inside a guard if need be. Not ideal, but I think he can give you that versatility. So I think Jedrick Wills out of Alabama is a lock-in here for the Cleveland Browns because they need offensive line help with all those weapons on offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's who the Broncos would love to try to go up to if they do trade up for a tackle or an offensive lineman, because That's the type of player they need. That's the type of man, a versatile, proven guy that can play both sides of the ball. I think that's or both sides of the line, excuse me. I think that's huge for him. So if the Broncos can trade up and they don't want to go for a wide receiver, that's someone that I would look at.
Okay. Josh, New York Jets at 11, and this is where my worries start as a Broncos fan.
I agree. This is why I think the Broncos want to go into the top 10, because I have, through all of my research, Jerry Jeudy going to the Jets at 11. So if they do not make a trade, I'm going to draft Jerry Jeudy, pluck him right there. The dude is solid, man. I mean, his resume speaks for himself. We all know how good of a wide receiver he is. He's going to make an impact from his rookie season on. And Jets need that. Sam needs a guy. They just lost Robbie Anderson. The Jets really need a guy that can be that guy and really, really, really help Darnold out.
Who did we have with the Browns?
That would be Jedrick Wills, the Alabama tackle. That's the Alabama kid, right? Yeah.
Yep, he's from Bama. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wills to the Browns to keep Baker on his feet.
See, now, and the biggest question is the receiver battle, right? You got Jeudy, Ruggs, and Lamb, CeeDee Lamb.
Uh-huh.
Probably the best receiver class we'll ever see for at least a long, long time. I know receivers are always coming year after year after year, but these are three names I think everybody's really keeping an eye on as Randy Moss potential, as Larry Fitzgerald potential, as Julio Jones potential. Guys that are going to not only make their teams better, going to make their quarterbacks look better. And going with Jerry Jeudy going to the Jets, is that going to be enough for Sam Darnold? Because he even admitted to seeing ghosts, and that Jacksonville made fun of it even when they played each other.
Well, see, here's my thing. It's you say that, and what's great about them is they're all going to make their quarterback look better in a different way. Ruggs is going to save his quarterback with his speed. You know, Jerry Jeudy is going to make dudes look stupid running routes, and CeeDee Lamb's going to go up and get it and make those contested catches. So it's really whatever you think you need for your quarterback. And with me, if you draft a speed guy or a possession guy like CeeDee Lamb, you're encouraging your quarterback to throw up, less confident throws. If you're taking Jerry Jeudy right there, you're getting a precise route runner. You're telling him to throw to a spot at this precise moment, and he will be there. You're not saying huck it up right here, down there, kind of there. You're saying here, then, now. And so, that's what I think.
I totally agree with you. That's actually what I want to talk about. Demaryius Thomas, early on in his career, was one of the best route runners for a bigger wide receiver that I've ever gotten to see. I watched him a lot in training camp. That dude was so precise. If he told you where he was going to be, he was going to be there. That's what I loved about DT early on in his career. That's what Jeudy reminds me of. He's a bigger wide receiver. He can handle the press coverage, and he is a precise route runner. Sam Darnold had Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson literally was virtually only a deep threat. That didn't help them at all, okay? So they get rid of Anderson. He goes to the Panthers, I believe. Pick up a Jerry Jeudy. This guy is going to make an impact on the Jets right away. That's why the Broncos want to get ahead.
And Tanner, I'm glad you said that Jerry Jeudy would be a great receiver for a quarterback that loves to throw up prayers and loves to let his receivers do the work, because with the next pick, with the Raiders pick, the 12th pick of the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select CeeDee Lamb, receiver from Oklahoma. The dude is going to help Derek Carr look good, and if he doesn't make Derek Carr look good, he's going to make Marcus Mariota look good. And they didn't just put a ton of pieces onto their defense to not add pieces to their offense. And let's face it, Nelson Aguilar ain't their answer on the offensive side.
Yeah, we agree, because we know Philly knows he can't catch. He knows.
He couldn't even catch the coronavirus, bro.
I mean, he can't catch that football. And we got dudes over there in Philly catching babies out windows, right?
Absolutely.
I like the pick. The Raiders, they need a weapon. You know, they need somebody to catch a football that's not Darren Waller or the Tyrell Williams.
Yeah.
Tanner, what I want to ask you before you go to San Francisco really quickly, do you think Kyle Shanahan has full confidence in number 10 Garoppolo? I just don't think he does. I think he's yearning and thirsting for something more. Now, I'm not saying go draft a QB, but I just don't think, especially after the Super Bowl.
I think he does. You have to.
Okay.
I see with me, it's mental, and it's a lot of the times if you're flirting with that decision, it's going to stay on the back of your mind and it's going to weigh on you and impact your decision making going forward. They just went to a Super Bowl. They just dominated. They have turned the franchise around, complete 180. I think, even if it's the scheme dependent and he's really just a game manager in the scheme, totally. I think he's confident in him to handle that.
Hey, it worked for Trent Dilfer. Let's be honest. It worked for Trent Dilfer, and they have a solid defense. So that's cool. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were fully confident in that.
So, and here's what's tough with the 49ers. You didn't get anybody, and you lost 2 starters. You lost Emmanuel Sanders to the Saints, and you traded DeForest Buckner to the Colts, which is how you have this pick right now. This is the Colts pick. So where do you go after? And it's Ruggs or Kinlaw here. It's the best receiver on the board or the best D lineman on the board for me. And the way I see it is this. Do you think that Shanahan needed fast receivers to win a lot of these games last year? Do you think he needed the quality receivers he had in general? Or do you think that the run-dependent scheme kind of kept him going with a steady defense?
Look, the running game in San Francisco is unreal. So that helped a lot. But there was a noticeable difference when Sanders came onto that team, okay? And I understand that Sanders is older, but when he was brought to that team, he made a noticeable difference. Maybe it was just the veteran leadership. I don't know. I wasn't there.
But that's the fact that he was older. So imagine bringing in a younger player to help boost the morale into what's already a young team. The San Francisco 49ers are so young anyway. You don't need veteran presence. They've been to the playoffs. They got guys that can tell each other what's going on. They don't need to figure out the path to the Super Bowl. They've been to the Super Bowl.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. That's why I think adding a young receiver that has longevity in his career and wants to play for a team like that, because what guy doesn't want to go to the team that just went to the Super Bowl? So I agree. I agree with that. Which, by the way, do we know who they got this pick from really quickly? Because
this is Indianapolis. With the Buckner trade.
Okay, thank you. That's what
that's why I'm considering Kinlaw so much right here also with this, because that defensive front, we know that defensive front was so dominant last year. That I think that you can make the argument that defensive line is a huge bigger reason why they won a lot of these games.
Their defense was solid.
So, but do you really want to go back-to-back defensive players when the top 15 picks of the first round, especially when you got a guy like Joey Bosa last year? You don't need any help on the defensive line.
I think you should always have help on the defensive line. I really do.
Especially with the 49ers in that 4-3. You always want to be rotating bodies through.
That's what I'm saying. Look,
they were perfect. They were perfect last year.
Because Buckner was there. Now Buckner's gone, and you got Kinlaw, who's basically a Buckner clone. He's 6'6". Buckner was 6'7". They got the same wingspan.
You're about to make me choose. You're literally about to make me change my mind.
Because I'm on this. Because that's how I see it right now. It's Ruggs or Kinlaw. And to me, the 49ers put more of an emphasis on their defensive line, like they've done so in the past 4 years. And I also think drafting like the 49ers, that the defensive line is a bigger reason why they won a lot of these games.
And I don't think Lynch is defensive minded.
That's what I was going to say. Remember who their general manager is, or vice president or whatever John Lynch is. Think about that. Think about it.
And you can get a weapon like Hamler or Claiborne in the second round in here. I'm taking the best defensive lineman to replace a top-tier defensive lineman that I just lost. I'm taking Javon Kinlaw right here. Boom.
I like it. That would
be a big pick. That would be a big pick.
That would be a big pick too. I agree with that. I think now you're making me think that could actually happen, man. That's a real possibility.
I think so. He's a clone. He's what you want. Let's not waste any more time here. So, Josh, you are now –
Hold on. And Josh, I got to convince you for a second before you make your pick, because I'm the Broncos, remember, and I'm picking right after you. And there is only one other person I can think of that Denver would want to grab other than an offensive tackle, and that is Henry Ruggs. And that's not enough, Josh. I really want you to think about, though, Tom Brady has plenty of receiver weapons, and he's got plenty of help on the offensive line. Tampa Bay had one of the best offensive lines in the NFL last season. You should go with the running back. Surprise everybody and take off a running back early. J.K. Dobbins is going to go high, and you know he's a good running back. He'd be great with Tom Brady.
Hear me out. I agree with you. I actually really like DeAndre Swift as well. He impressed me at Georgia. Both those guys are solid running backs. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins for a while was in the Heisman Trophy running, all that stuff. I understand. He is a